Du gamla, du fria, du fjällhöga nord, du tysta, du glädjerika sköna. Jag hälsar dig vänaste land upp på jord, din sol, din himmel, dina ängder gröna. Din sol, din himmel, dina ängder gröna. Du tronar på minnen från fornstora dagar, då att ditt namn flög över jorden. Jag vet att du är och förblir vad du var. Ja, jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden. Ja, jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Members and guests, for those of you that I have not yet met, my name is Xander Olsen and I'm the president of the Swedish American Patriotic League. And on behalf of the League and its Midsummer Committee, it's my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to Sveadal today. This is the 129th consecutive year that the League has held its Midsummer celebration in the San Francisco Bay Area. And we are thrilled to celebrate this grand occasion in person with family and friends here again in Sveadal. We are proud to continue this community's unique midsummer tradition, honoring and carrying forward our Swedish American heritage and cherished customs for future generations. Now, this is a special year indeed, because as you may know, Sweden's National Day, which is celebrated annually on June 6th, commemorates the occasion of Gustav Vasa's election as Sweden's king and the kingdom's subsequent exit from the Kalmar Union with Denmark and Norway. Now, this year, Sweden celebrates the 500th anniversary of that event, marking half a millennium as an independent, sovereign nation. And the hits keep coming, because 2023 also marks 50 years on the throne for King Carl XVI Gustav. He is now the longest serving and reigning monarch in Sweden's history. And in celebration of that jubilee, he and his wife, Queen Silvia, will be paying a visit to all 21 of Sweden's regions over the course of the year. And although Northern California is not one of those 21 regions, we would be honored to receive the royal family to help continue the spirit and the merriment of these special anniversary celebrations right here in Sveadal. We are not ones to allow a little bit of geography to get in the way of a good time. This is a team sport in a number of ways. Midsummer does not happen with only a few. It doesn't happen with just the same folks who volunteer. We always need new people. And yet we are particularly lucky this year to be able to recognize and celebrate some of the perennial MVPs as part of that team. This Midsummer, we have asked an officer from each of our 12 league organizations to walk in our procession. Can I ask those folks to please stand and face the audience for a moment? We wish to highlight and honor these individuals. Many have held their offices for a very long time. We salute them for perpetuating the League's lodges, their clubs, the societies, while also contributing to Midsummer and to Sveadal. Thank you all so, so much. We also want to pause and acknowledge Gus Brolin, who is in attendance, I believe. I am looking for you, Gus. Above, here we go. We can stand to acknowledge you, Gus, and thank you for all of your years of tireless dedication and service. And here we are. Yes, and for those who would like more context, please make sure to check out the program because there's a wonderful, wonderful article that only begins to pay justice to all of Gus's contributions. We also want to pause and acknowledge Jan and Kiki Nordin, who also feature in this year's program and who are this year's parade marshals. We thank you both for the many years that you have helped to craft and conjure exactly what a midsummer in Sveadal should sound and feel like. That sensory experience, the sensory experience of this event, the one that you feel and the one that you hear when you close your eyes and picture it, is inextricably linked to them both, and we thank you for all of your years of service. Thanks again. And the Queen and Court, who are at the center of today's special event, and in many ways every midsummer that the SAPL has put on, to that point, we are indebted to two people in particular, to Karen Van Horn and to Carol Talbot, for their years of service. You are the indispensable glue that holds not only the Queen and Court Committee, but also the pageantry of Midsummer together. We thank you for your service over these many, many years. Thank you very much. Now, I wanted to share just a couple of words, keeping in that sort of time-honored Olsen tradition of not going on for too long, but just want to make one more point about traditions. The traditions that we celebrate here today have clear roots that we can trace back to the countries of our forefathers and founders. And no, I'm not referring to the tradition of wearing your great-grandfather's reindeer hide capri pants on stage. I am talking about our community's most cherished tradition, and that is one of adaptation. We took what we knew from home and we adapted it to fit within a new world. The traditional Swedish midsummer, but now imbued with the pageantry and the patriotism of a new American home. And in that way, our strongest traditions are always marked by both a nod to history and a bold embrace of the promise of the future. And today's program is really the perfect showcase of that same spirit, a reverence for the past with a trusting nod towards the future. Now, with that, we turn to the business at hand and the introduction of this year's Midsummer Queen. Queen Stella Kavol has had the privilege of representing the Swedish Club of San Francisco and the Bay Area at this year's Midsummer celebration, which is all the more meaningful because the Swedish Club is celebrating its 110th anniversary this year. Stella is a 19-year-old college student pursuing a degree in computer science at the University of California, Berkeley. Go Bears. Along with her major, she's also taking Swedish language classes in the Scandinavian department. Stella's passions for education, for working with children, and innovating with new technologies all stem from her core belief and interest in making a positive impact on the world. She's the daughter of Maria and Dave and has a younger sister, Annika. Stella's mother, Maria, immigrated from Sweden to California, which makes Stella half Swedish and gives her a unique tie to her California and Sweden-based Swedish communities. She has honed a passion for promoting cultural understanding between these communities, and she keenly understands the unique task and that special thrill of embracing one's Swedish roots while growing up Swedish American in the United States. She has visited Sweden every summer since childhood to immerse herself in the country's rich cultural traditions and customs. And those are the moments of cultural exchange and connection with friends and family that have been most meaningful to her. With that, won't you join me in welcoming Stella Kavol, this year's Midsummer Queen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this year's Midsummer. First, I would like to thank the Swedish Club of San Francisco and the Bay Area for nominating me to be this year's Midsummer Queen. I would also like to thank my mormor and morfar and my Swedish family for teaching me the Swedish traditions from a young age and keeping me involved in the Swedish community. Lastly, I'd like to thank Sveadal for hosting the 129th Midsummer, and I'm so happy everyone can be here today.
Your crown, and we have one token of our esteem, a little gift, our Midsummer Queen. All right. Give us a shot. Ladies and gentlemen, our Midsummer Queen. And at this point, I'd like to welcome Ted Olson to the stage for a few remarks.
Thank you, Xander. I'd like to, before I introduce Barbara, I'd like to just make a mention of a historical event. Would Ken and Gus please stand? Ken Weisenborn, Gus Berlin, again, would you stand? The reason I'm asking them to stand is that 30 years ago, we created a maypole here. And Gus took me under the new clubhouse at that time and pointed out to us the old flagpole. Only one of the flagpoles survived the fire of the old clubhouse. And I pointed out to him, Gus, that's not the old flagpole, that's the new maypole. And so Gus made the crossbeam. We had John Spencer create the stanchion. I know how deep it's dug because at that time I was 6 feet tall, not now. But we raised, Ken with me raised that pole, and every year since then we've had the maypole out in the sun during the summer solstice. So that is one of these traditions that we perpetuate, and of course it also allows us all to enjoy the vendors there. Before I introduce Barbara now, I'd also like to introduce those who have accompanied her here as our honored guest. Reverend Joachim Schroeder is the pastor of the Swedish Church in America. Would you please stand? He was celebrating Sweden Day, of course, the 6th, which just happens to be not too distant from the 500th anniversary of the Swedish Church in America, because when Gustav Vasa took over, he offered to have the Pope there, but when the Pope wouldn't agree to his candidates, he created the Swedish Church, a Lutheran church in Sweden. Secondly, I'd like to introduce Mimi Skoglund. Mimi, would you stand up? She is one of the founders and the CEO of the Scandinavian School in San Francisco, one of the oldest in the state. And I'd also like to introduce Christine Bunger, sort of charge d'affaires of the honorary consulate, but a fellow founding member of the Scandinavian School. Thank you both. Barbara, we thought that last year was your valedictory here, but thank you for returning. And even so, the new Consul General is on her way, but Barbara, would you please come forward and give some greetings?
Hello, everyone. How many Swedes? Can you raise your hands?
Full Swede.
That's pretty good. Glad midsommar till er alla och tack för underbar sång. Now I retreat into my second language, namely English. As Ted said, it was my turn to retire. Never mind, that didn't happen. So we are now bracing for 2024. It is said that the new Consul General, who is a career person, as you understand, I'm the oldest volunteer for Sweden that you ever met. Her name is Anna Lekvall, and she will take over probably at the beginning of next year, 2024. I'll force her to come here. She has to understand how important it is to have a real queen in Sveadal like Stella. Lovely. And you're at the Scandinavian department also. Fantastic. As you probably know, there are only 3 Scandinavian departments in all of the US. One at UC Berkeley, one at the University of Washington, Seattle, and one smaller at Madison, Wisconsin. So we should be so grateful that the Nordic sense is kept alive on the whole West Coast. And you help that. With that, I would say au revoir in my best Swedish. And thank you. You know, I must say, I'm always deeply touched by what you are achieving down here and how you keep the Swedish spirit and flame alive. It is remarkable. And please don't give up. One day we will have a royal visit. I'm still working on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. And at this point, if I could direct everyone's attention to a musical interlude from T.C. Bruins.
Hello again, everyone. Tjena. I think what was said earlier about the union of what's Swedish and American will be very appropriate for the song that I'm about to sing. I think a lot of people in Sweden will recognize this. This is a song that was rewritten, or the Swedish lyrics made partially by Monica Zetterlund, and it's set to Walking My Baby Back Home. So in Swedish, it's called Sakta vi går genom stan. And this is talking about what it's like to walk home in Stockholm on a midsummer night. And I think we can all picture that, especially with the many, many hours of daylight and just feeling that sense of the height of the summer.
Åh, det är skönt när mitt Stockholm är grönt, sakta gå hem genom stan. En kyss och sen går man sakta igen, sakta en tur genom stan. Och det är natt och på avstånd hörs skratt när man går hem genom stan. En doft av hö från en ljusa gårdsö smyger sig tyst in till stan. Precis som din arm, så lätt och så varm, känns sommarens vind mot min kind. Och natten står still det finns inte till en tystnadens skugga är vind. Den är så kort och den glider snart bort när trastarna vaknar i stan. Klockan är 2, hela himlen är blå, sakta vi går genom stan. Sakta vi då tror en man i en båt stannar och ser på en svan. Allt är tyst och jag tiger är kysst, sakta vi går genom stan. På Västerbron i den himmelska ron en spårvagn går ensam och tom. Alla hus målar natten i ljus, hemlik och träden i blom. Här bor 1 miljon, säg hör om den ton som Stockholm nu spelar på dem. De far härifrån, så långt härifrån, men Stockholm det är ju vårt hem. Vart vi än går vet jag Stockholm är vårt, när vi går hem genom stan. Här går vi med en tyst melodi, ensamma i hela stan. Så stannar vi till våglarnas drill och känner en doft av viol. Och glada vi hör en jublande kör, och stiger den gnistrande sol. Och det är skönt när mitt Stockholm är grönt, sakta en natt gå i stan. En kyss och sen börja vandra igen, sakta vi går genom stan. Sakta vi går genom stan, sakta vi går genom stan. Thank you. So my next song is going to be my own personal reflection on Midsummer. Like many of you, I've come here actually for several years now, sometimes to sing and sometimes just to enjoy everything that's going on here. But I grew up in Sweden, and my midsummers growing up were in the southwestern part of Sweden, outside Halmstad and along the coast. So I have lots of memories from celebrating Midsummer, the maypole, the Midsummer pole, and lots of gathering celebrations and, you know, young romance. So those are the memories that I reflected on when I wrote this song, and it's called Midsummer. I think there's an element of a lot of Swedish music around the summer is that fleeting moment of something. It's so short, summer is so intense in Sweden, and we find ourselves really wanting to celebrate and capture that moment. And that's what I wanted to do with this song, Midsummer. Midsommartimmen, då sover ingen, skapas det minnen som räcker ett år. Jag plockade blommor till kransen du binder, i midsommartimmen 7 sorter vi får. Och snart dansar du bort igen, och jag vaknar upp igen. Drömmen om vad kommer sen, i midsommartimmens öraste blommor slår ut. Midsommartimmen kantas av minnen, för kärleken finner alltid en väg. Glömmas kan inget, havet och himlen, och dina ögon som havet ikväll. Men snart dansar Med dig vill jag leva, med dig vill jag dö. Men snart dansar du bort igen. Och jag vaknar upp igen. Drömmen om vad kommer sen. Midsommartimmens rödaste ord slår ut. Thank you. Tack så mycket. Glad midsommar. Glad midsommar. Tack.
DC, thank you again. That was fantastic. It was really fantastic. At this point, I'd like to invite Vicky Thurman to present this year's Columbia.
Glad Midsummer alla. I have the honor of presenting Katharina Anderson. She's a wonderful representative of Colombia. She was born in Sweden, but was raised in the USA. She speaks Swedish. She has her own folkdrakt, folk costume, and her activities and interests bridge or link her to both cultures. Sveadal 348 of San Jose is so proud to have Katarina as our Columbia this year for our Swedish Midsummer.